wakes up later in the day, like closer to like 9 o'clock, because she's a little night owl. Woke up earlier today at 6 o'clock. So I got the opportunity to spend the morning with her, even though I wanted to sleep in and I wanted to just kind of be lazy this morning. She got me up. She wanted to play. She was energetic. So that made me happy today.
Awesome. What else made you happy? Keep going. Keep going.
What made me happy? I'm also in graduate school, so I had one class this morning, and because it's a family nurse practitioner program, so meeting my classmates this morning and getting a handle on what the semester is going to look like, um, and just kind of getting an idea of what the next 14 weeks of my life are going to look like, and then finding the opportunity to fit this meeting into my schedule, because unfortunately I have another class at 1 o'clock, so I'm gonna have to leave a little bit early. But that made me happy, being able to still do this, which is something that I'm trying to incorporate into my life, um, and meeting you guys. So that made me happy.
Thank you, Laura. Now for the
Thank
second
you.
question.
Thank you, Laura.
For the second question, if you had a chance to talk to your 18-year-old self, what would you say? Mr. Arun.
What do I say to my 18-year-old myself? Good afternoon, table topic master, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I would say that I should have joined Toastmaster right away. It gives you so much of confidence. Again, speaking skill is something that cannot be built overnight. Something like a gym, it's a muscle that we build over a period of time. I've been in Toastmasters for the last 2 years, and I haven't seen the results right away, but definitely I can see the confidence growing in myself, and the R's and Ums have come down. I'm still working on my pace, but still there are so many skills that we can build in. Before coming to Toastmasters, I used to listen a lot of technical presentation. I am the technical presenter. So you get these boring presentations. Within like first few minutes, you get easily bored. You have to just sit through it. But coming to Toastmasters, you find those amazing skills to how to open up a presentation, how to capture the audience, how to go through it, the humor, so many skills that we develop, and the storytelling. These are key things, and I believe that speech is not just about giving a speech. It is more like a drama. Like we have to act ourselves out to engage the audience. So this is a skill that has to be built over a period of time. It cannot be done 1 month or 1 year. And again, when we don't come to Toastmasters for a period of time, we lose that skill too. So that's the key thing here. And also, we also build the camaraderie. When being part of this club, you have this community that supports you in every aspects. In my club, we do like interviews. Like if someone has an interview, we try to support them. Networking. There's so much we get out of Toastmasters. The way I look at this is happy hour with intellectual conversations. You could talk about something really strong, and you could have an audience who appreciates it and gives you a positive feedback, which we can improve. The body language, for example. There are so many things. I wish I would have joined it at the age of 18. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. Now, if you could, no, this is the last question. What was your favorite place to visit as a kid, Elena?
My favorite place, Italy. I used to travel to Italy with my parents a lot as a child. And I learned so much about other cultures just by being there. The attitude of the people is different. I liked everything about it. In fact, last night I was doing something. I was doing a little ironing, which I don't do very often. And I decided the best way to go and make it fun is to play Italian music. So I went to my music box on the internet, and I started playing some of those songs, and it brought me back to being a very young girl. One of the things I wanted to do as a young girl, maybe, I mean, a child, maybe 8 or 9 years old, I wanted to grow up and be able to ride a Vespa. And oh, it never happened. By the time I was old enough to be able to ride a Vespa, I realized that it was very dangerous, so I never did. But Italy holds wonderful memories for me. And I'm so sorry about what's been happening there, but I hope to be back soon. Soon meaning maybe the end of next year or whatever. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena. I hope to see Italy as well. Mr. President, do we have time for another question?
Let's go with another question, Alex.
If you had a chance to choose between a car that runs on gas or a car that runs on electric, which one would you pick and why, Mr. President?
Can you repeat again the question, Alex? I was taking the time.
Yes, if you had a chance to choose between a car that runs on gas or a car that runs on electric, which one would you pick and why?
Mr. Table Topics Master Alex Posada. I will go with the electric car, even though I have a gas today. I will go with electric because, first of all, I think that is cool. It's nice. I feel that is the best way, and technology, and as well as Arun, I work in technology. I believe technology as a tool will help us to be in a better place, in a better world. And this is a good example. A car, electric car, exactly same. My dream really is have more trees around, everything. And we have this chance to connect sometimes, regardless if we are in Europe, United States, South America. So that's the technology. And again, I will go with the electric car always as part of that future or present, whereas technology is a tool to be in a better world for ourselves, but as well for our family. Mr. Table Topic Master, Alex, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Juan. And now for our last question. Mr. Ray, get ready. If you could teach two things to your grandkids, what would it be? Mr. Ray.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties. Just kidding. If I could teach two things to my grandkids, love, respect. To me, love is something that that's natural. Hate is something that is taught. So I would teach them to love everyone, no matter what, how they look, where they come from, it doesn't really matter. Respect is something that I think that every person should be given, no matter from the lowest low to the highest high, you must give respect to people. And if you do those things and you put it together, this would be a more perfect and a more beautiful world. Again, to my grandkids, you have to love everyone, treat them with respect. And when you do those things come back to you twofold. It makes a more, as I repeat myself, a more beautiful world and a more beautiful people. Mr. Table Topic Master, love and respect to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
Thank you.
Now, give it back to Mr. Steve, Mr. Toastmaster of the day.
Could we have a report from the timer? Did everybody qualify?
Yes.
Okay. We aren't voting, are we, during these Zoom meetings? on?
Not today, but next week we will start the voting. I think we need to learn a little bit more from Cynthia, Zoom expert, and then our pilot will be next week for sure.
Okay,
Yes.
yes. To our guests, we actually make it difficult by saying during your impromptu speeches, your table topics, to speak for at least a minute. Some people find that difficult. So that's why we time it. And usually afterwards, we will ask the club for some feedback on how people did. I will say a few words at the end of the meeting about that, if that's all right. Now we're moving into the part of the meeting where we have prepared speeches. I want to check, is Jennifer Volker here? Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. Sorry. Our first speaker has a prepared speech, which is very appropriate. It's a Zoom tutorial. She's been a member of the club for 5 years. She's pretty much been an officer for the whole time. And she's been our technical consultant for the whole time, pretty much, which allows us to be out on Zoom and do these type of things. Now she's going to give us a tutorial on Zoom to make us actually dangerous, right? So her talk is 8 to 10 minutes. Could the timer give us a report on what that means?
Okay.
Well,
It's an 8 to 10 minute speech.
It's 8 to 10 minutes. The way it would work
8 to
would
10
be
minutes?
green at 8,
Okay.
yellow at
Yes.
9, and red at 10 minutes.
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Cynthia Cortez, she is going to give a talk on a Zoom tutorial. Cynthia Cortez.
Well, thank you, everybody, and welcome to Zoom Basics. Well, I will teach you how to navigate this particular platform. Now, I'll be sharing my screen, so if you are not on speaker view, if you can just move around your mouse, and on the top right corner, you will see an option for speaker view. So if you don't see my screen when I share it, please click on that to make sure. Now, first things first, I'm going to very briefly touch upon how do you get on Zoom. Now, most of you are on here, so you've been successfully gone on, but there are some people who don't know how to get on their computer, where this is the best way to actually view Zoom. So I'm going to do this by share my screen. Just give me a moment to share my screen and you could all see what I'm doing. Okay, let's go on. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. So first thing is first, when you are going to go on a Zoom meeting, you have to go to the website and download the program. And this is the first thing that's going to pop up. When you click join, it will ask you the join meeting ID. Now, for those of us who are members, we have a special WhatsApp chat group that will have the details there. You put your meeting ID, you click the join button, and you will be putting in the meeting password, which will also be in the same meeting details. Click on join meeting and it will put you on hold until the host actually starts the meeting or puts you directly. Now, I got this question last week saying, well, isn't there a way to do it directly using the link? And because we are a club that particularly uses WhatsApp, there is a direct way to do that. I'm going to show you that right now. Now for that, we're going to go on to WhatsApp web. And you do that by going to whatsapp.com. And if you see at the top right hand up corner, it's WhatsApp web. When you click on that, it actually gives you instructions on how to access your WhatsApp via web. So you're gonna have to take your phone and do the instructions, either do the tap menu on Android or the little settings icon. And what you're gonna be looking for is underneath your name, there's going to be an option called WhatsApp Web and Desktop. And you basically have an option at the very end called Scan QR Code. So if you see Scan Code, that's where you're going to touch on. And you point the camera at the screen and it will allow you to go on. So when you're on here, it's going to be very similar to what you have on your phone. Go on, and you have the link right here. The password is embedded in the link, so once you click on this, it will automatically take you to a screen where it will start to say, download this file. And when it downloads a file, is for Firefox, for me, it gives me the download blue icon at the very top. When I click on that, it will automatically take me to this Zoom meeting. Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of, well, what are the properties and what are the tools that we have in the Zoom meeting? And hold on one second, because it's not allowing me to share. So we have a bit of a problem because I can't exactly give the video screen. So I don't have a, all right. So I'm going to have to do this without the share screen. I've taken it off so you can actually see what's on the screen. To the bottom left corner, you have the mute button. And this is where we have a protocol of, please mute yourself when you're not talking. And, when you're ready to talk, to unmute yourself. And that we do this because, sometimes we get very distracting noises like dogs barking in the back, things like that. So it could be very distracting. So please mute yourself when you're not talking. Stop video. I will say this, if you have the camera on, there's always someone who is watching. So if you're gonna go to start eating while in the meeting, turn the camera off. Mr. Juan Rosero, you're sharing the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
My mistake. I was
moving on. There is an option for the stop video. In the stop video, there's a little upward icon. And that upward icon, if you click on it, it has an option to choose virtual background. So a lot of you have been asking, how do you get this blue background in the back? When you click on that option, choose virtual background, you are able to choose out of different backgrounds. And I have downloaded this one personally from Toastmasters International, and and in another tutorial, I will go like a little bit more in depth as to how you do that. Participants, if you see the one with the people icon, it basically gives you a list of people. But in addition, on the paid accounts, which this is a paid account, you actually can give reactions. So if I want to raise my hand, it will put like a little icon next to my name and that I'm raising my hand saying, hey, I need attention, I want to ask a question. To say yes. And if you guys click on the participant option, you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm clicking no, I'm clicking go slower, go faster, so on. So it's basically reactions for whoever's talking to say, yes, I agree with you, I want to ask something, so on and so forth. Now the chat, I think, is a very valuable tool for a Zoom meeting. So I'd like everyone to click on the chat button. And this allows us to communicate with everybody. And, you know, I'd like for everybody to actually post what's their favorite color. I'm putting mine right now. Alex says green. Steve says sky blue. Elena says red. Ooh, you're bold. Juan Rosero, blue. Arun is blue. Jennifer, purple. Abney is lilac. Nice. And so using chat, I think, is one of the most powerful tools in Zoom because it becomes more interactive. You get input from everybody in the room. Now, you also have the option in the chat option to find and do a private message. So if you click on where it says everyone, you also have the option to individually pick someone to give them a private message. And that is certainly an option there. Towards the far right corner, you will see an option called File. And this is an option that I particularly use to share documents to everybody. And you could download and see what is being referenced. Thank you, Marife. Moving on from the chat is the share screen option. And this one, I believe I do have slides. So let's do a share screen. So for the share screen option, this is what you're going to see. And the easiest option was to click the first one of share your screen and click on the share button at the very bottom of this option. So when you actually get into a share, this is what you're going to be seeing. You're going to be seeing this little green icon at the very top saying you're sharing screen. And at whatever time you need to actually stop the share, you can do so by doing the green. Now, when you hover on the green, you are sharing your screen, you will get this. And so you have many of the same options as you have in your regular Zoom bar. But in addition, you have these very cool options. New share if you want to share something else. Pause share if you want to, not share it. And then for me, the coolest thing is to annotate. And annotating, you usually get an option like this. You have the ability to put in text, to draw, to stamp, to highlight, erase. And let me just give you a little demo on that using the exact same. So here I'm going to annotate and I'm going to draw. I could do a circle. I can put text of hello, hello world. So you can do a lot of amazing things with Zoom that is very creative and useful in this way. So I'm going to stop share and I'm at the red. So this was my little intro tutorial on how to do Zoom basics. I hope you found or learned a thing or two. So thank you very much. I bring it back to you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. That was useful. And we will evaluate that later. The second speaker is Tali Badikov. I do not have the time for your speech. Tali, is it 5 to 7 minutes?
It's, 5 to 7 minutes.
Okay. So in that case, we are going to have the timer indicate with green at 5, at yellow at 6, and red at 7. Correct?
Yes.
So, Tali, the subject of your talk is?
Concepts of real estate.
Okay, so here we have for 5 to 7 minute prepared speech, Tali. Thank you.
Well, Good morning, everyone. As I already mentioned, my topic is going to be about basic concepts of real estate. As some of you already know, I have a passion of teaching people about their personal finances. I teach through workshops and one-on-one meetings, how money works here in the United States, how can you do stuff to help you grow money, save money, and basically get good with your personal finances. Also, I get to work on real estate, where I combine both things, because real estate is also part of an investing. Either you are renting, selling, or buying a house, okay? So I decided today that I'm gonna share few basic concepts so you can get familiar with the whole idea. And for that, I'm gonna share my screen. Cynthia already explained that. I'm using two screens today because I wanna be able to look at you guys while I'll share my screen as well. So I'm gonna use my whiteboard, which I'm hoping all of you can see, okay? So I will start saying that the first concept that I wanna talk about is the home, okay? Home, in real estate, we have different things. It's basically where you live, the property, the land property where you buy, and that we know as a house, okay? But there are different types of house or homes in real estate. We have the single family home, which is the one we regularly know as a house with a backyard or not, with a pool or not. And then also we have what it's called in real estate a duplex, which is basically those houses that they have two doors. So we have two different units in between the same building, okay? That's what it's called a duplex. And also we have what it's called a condo, which is basically a group of different doors in the same structure. So that will be a condo, okay? So for now, I'm gonna focus on single family homes. And I'm gonna do an example. If we have a house that it costs $1,500, okay? What do people do to buy the house? Often people, they don't have enough money to buy the house. So what they do is they make a down payment. That's another concept. A down payment is usually between 3, 5%, or 10%, depending on the program that you are gonna use. For this exercise, just to make the concepts clear and to understand, we'll use a down payment of 10%. So you basically go to the bank and ask for a loan. So you are gonna give them the 10%, which is $15,000. And the bank, depending on your job history, your credit, the different things they will account for, they will issue a mortgage. That's another concept. So the mortgage is gonna be the amount of money that you will have to pay monthly towards that money they are lending you. But of course, they are not just gonna give you the money right by itself. They are gonna apply an interest rate, okay? An interest rate, at this moment, actually, the interests are very low. It's a really good time to invest in real estate. But let's say for the exercise that they will give you 6%, okay? 6% interest rate. And just to make a number, they will do calculation how much you are gonna be paying in the next 30 years or wherever they fix the mortgage for you. And we'll say that your mortgage is gonna be $800 a month. That's what you're gonna be paying. Oops, sorry. That's what you're gonna be paying towards that mortgage, okay? So you're gonna be living in that house, paying $800 a month until you can pay your $150. But let's say that now you don't wanna live in that house. You decided that you are gonna rent that house out and you are gonna live somewhere else. And you get to rent the house for $1,000 a month. So this is very interesting because you are paying $800 to the bank, but you're renting it out for $1,000. So what we have here is $200 difference. And that's called the cash flow, which is like extra money that you get from what you have to pay and from what you are receiving. It's always great, of course, to have cash flow. So keep that always in mind when you are thinking about investing or renting a property, okay? So the next important concept that I wanna talk about is the equity. What's the equity? Let's say that you bought the house, like I said, for $150, right? But now the house, it's valued at $200,000. $200,000. So you have a difference here. The difference between this number and the money that you pay, that you owe to the bank, sorry that I didn't put that before when I made the down payment, I still owe the 150 less the 15, I still owe 135. So the difference between what its value and what I owe to the bank, it's gonna be the equity I have in the house. And of course, we always want to have a lot of equity. As much equity as we have, the more income that we're gonna get, okay? So the last concept that I wanna talk, I haven't seen Marife actually. The last concept that I wanna talk about is the PITI, that it's always included in the mortgage. What is the PITI? The PITI stands for Principal, Interest, Tax, and Insurance. So when we pay the $800 a month towards our mortgage, there is included a few things. First, the principal, which is the capital that you're gonna be paying back to the bank, right? The interest that we here said that it was 6%. So you're gonna be paid a little amount towards also that included interest. And the bank wants to make sure the house is gonna be safe through the whole mortgage period, right? So they're gonna be charging you every month a little bit, like the 12th portion of the taxes. So by the end of the year, you will be already paid the taxes that are needed for that loan, okay? And of course, they want to make sure nothing happens to the house, or if something happens, if it gets burned or damaged or whatever it is, you have an insurance. So that way they will protect that everything is gonna go smoothly. So whenever you're paying an amount towards the mortgage, keep in mind that you will be paying not only, that's how it's distributed. Some is for the principal, some for the interest, some for the taxes, and also for the insurance, okay? So this is kind of what I wanted to talk to you about. These are basic concepts that I think everyone, it's helpful for everyone whenever they wanna buy, sell, or rent a house. I hope you enjoy it, and that's all for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Darling.
Let me stop sharing this.
Thank you. We're now moving into the evaluation part of the meeting. In order to evaluate our first prepared speaker, that is Cynthia, we're going to have Jennifer. As soon as we get we stop sharing the screen.
I'm trying.
There we go. So Jennifer, would you tell us what your evaluation of Cynthia was,
Okay,
of her
maybe,
speech?
sorry.
I would like if Cynthia would be back, if possible, so I can address my evaluations to her. Okay, hi, gorgeous. All right, Cynthia, as always a very forceful presentation, and I so thank you. Thank you for that journey. It was a very insightful and informative discussion as to how to navigate the Zoom app. Ironically, just last night, I did that on my computer where I was on another teleconferencing with Meghan Markle and my president's wife. Anyway, so I was able to do that last night, and I thought I just gave myself a big kudos for being able to do that. So I found this quite, very, very coincidental. As always, Cynthia, your speech was clear, it was concise, it was focused, very well organized. I like the way you started out by just telling us what you're about to do. And that to me resonates as a good teacher. It's always good to just explain, like an overview, tell people what you're going to do. You had a bit of technical difficulties, but in a way, I thought that was good. You know why? Because a lot of times when we share screens, it tends to block the person who is talking. And it always, I like to see your gestures, your facial contours, and all of those things when you're speaking. So with that, you're able to still pull it off. So I'm very happy about that. I also love the way you navigated us through the different features in Zoom, especially the chat and particularly the annotation. For me, the annotation was something very, very new. Never knew how to do that before, so thank you very much. My critique, if there's any, just a few, because you know it's always applause for you, big applause, but because I want you to get better and better every day, there's always a little bit of room for improvement, so here we go. Your voice has always been kind of what we call monotone. It was clear, but at the same time kind of flat. So it would be good if you could give us a little bit more inflection, if you could inflect a little bit. That is vary your tone. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you is that you mentioned that this was a paid version of Zoom. Some of us had just the free version. So with that, we don't have a lot of the little things that are there, the little features. And it would have been good if you would have told us or give us some sort of alternatives. For instance, I don't have file, or I don't know if it's on my computer. I have the free version. So if I did, I wouldn't know where to find it. So it would have been helpful if you could give us some alternatives as to, you know, where we could find some of those on our computer. Otherwise, you continue to amaze me, because I remembered when we started, you were just a little, what we called a little neophyte person, but now you're just on a roll, all the different positions. So again, thank you so kindly. And I wish and I expect to hear more and more from you, and definitely looking forward to another version, the more expanded version of your training on Zoom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. As Toastmaster of the day, I forgot to mention that there was also a timing sequence for evaluators. I believe it's 2 to 3 minutes. Again,
where's the timer? I didn't see a timer.
We'll have to work on the time, the timing technology on Zoom also.
Okay.
John Clapp is going to be evaluating Tally, and he has the benefit as a longtime member of knowing about the 2 to 3 minutes and not being reminded by me. Sorry, John. Okay. It's all yours. You're on mute. John, you are on mute yet.
Sorry. Fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests, Tali, thank you for your speech. I was familiar with those concepts, but I had never seen them put or heard them put in a sequence, in an order that I could understand how things worked in the real estate industry. I was curious about your whiteboard. Fellow Toastmasters, I believe if a suggestion would be if the whiteboard would have been a little more organized, maybe before the meeting, so that it would come in sequence with her speech. I liked her personal example. I didn't know exactly how you got to equity, so I really appreciated that, Tally. I didn't see much gestures, or maybe a little more inflection in your voice. You mentioned a passion for it, so I see you have a passion for it, but maybe a personal example would have been a good one to have. That would have been perfect, a perfect thing. But I can see where you know your business and that you really want to help people to improve. Just, that's why you're here, to help others as well as yourself. And so maybe you want to end with I would say the title with concept of real estate, I thought, oh no. But if you had said something like, I want to teach you how to increase your cash flow through real estate. That would have got my attention, right? And so, and ending the speech, you want to be sure to, in your conclusion, to recap everything, but leave us with something that we really want to learn more about your speech and your real estate. So I thank you for the speech and look forward to your next one, Tally. Very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. In summary, let me evaluate the parts of the meeting that were not otherwise evaluated. I think Alex did a great job with the impromptu, the Toastmaster part of the meeting. That was just perfect. Enough of a question to get people thinking without a long explanation that really wouldn't otherwise add to the meeting. I thought the responses in the impromptu, the Toastmaster, the table topics part were great. And there's a lot to be said about the Zoom meeting relative to that. Everybody, every single person looked at their camera. They were paying attention. I know it's a little virtual, but in a way, I feel a real attachment because people were looking. They weren't looking down at their notes during that part of the meeting. People could have been thinking about things or pausing and all that. So that was very well done for all of those table topics. There was very little pausing, very little ums, ahs, delays. There are some things from this meeting, some etiquette issues, some technology issues, things I would like to learn how to do better. Clearly, we used to have a saying in the technology consulting field, you live by technology, you die by technology. It's hard to test every possible situation. So Cynthia, I am sympathetic for what happened, and I like the fact that you went right into the flow to demonstrate with the tools that you had available. It looks like Zoom won't let you see Zoom on a Zoom meeting or something like that. There's some limitations. Who knew, right? We all know test, 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 and then you'll still have that problem. The second one with the talk by Tali, I learned something new, but I'm not sure I learned how to do it, so I'd like to see that. We did have a little problem at the beginning because since she had two devices going, the speaker view did not show her face because the phone, I guess, or the other device was picking up the sound. So I was concerned that would be a problem, but it worked out when she captured the screen. And I'm looking forward to learning from Tally how she did the screen thing, the writing on the screen. Something that we could all learn, if you ever have gone to Khan University, they use a screen and they write on it. And they do it in a very professional way. I would love to learn those skills too, along with John's comment, how do you best use the screen while you're talking? So I am impressed. I think the Zoom meeting on a virtual meeting brings something that an in-person meeting doesn't bring, and it brings challenges, and we'll get better and better as we go. And it was a pleasure to serve as your Toastmaster of the day. Can I return the meeting now to our president, Juan?
Much appreciated, Steve, Mr. Toastmaster. You did a great job, and you have a lot of experience. Every single meeting that you provide some feedback is really out of experience, and we really appreciate it. It doesn't matter if you're at home or at the beach, as last week. That's the awesome piece here, right? We have no boundaries.
Sorry about that.
No, that was great. Like, this is good for everyone. If you are on the beach, if you are somewhere, let's connect. Let's be right there. Just mute. And so thank you so much, Steve. As well, I know that Alex, you did a great job as well. The beginning of the meeting, I really like that you put the rules super clear, awesome for our guests, for our club members. That was awesome. Table topics, really good as well. Steve, I totally agree with you. I think the table topics is amazing, right? You have these, you are not preparing, you are not checking something right there. It comes and flows really good. It was really good. And as always, we love our speakers, and as well, John, as well, when you are part active in as evaluator, your smile is like you have some energy that travels. I don't know where are you, but I feel that, right? Thank you so much. Really good meeting. I believe you have fun, all of you, that we learn Zoom, one-on-one. Cynthia, thank you so much. And then the word, what I want to, so first of all, let's have a round of applause, a give of applause for all of you. Good job. And then I think this is record today. We have probably around 20, 21. I saw a lot of new guests right there. Some were like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Some more ones already dropped. I know that it's a little bit long, the meeting, but really appreciate, really good that you shared, that you were part of it. And we appreciate as well if you are face-to-face and we can see your, that's important. So a round of applause, everyone again, guests and everyone. Finally, I want to give you a note here about leadership and about all of you stepping up, right? In these difficult times. And this is leading by example. I do believe that leading by example is important, always. When you create a picture of what's possible, people can look and say, hey, look, if Cynthia did it, if Juan did it, if Steve did it, why is it stopping me to do it? So you make it easier for the rest because you see, hey, look, we have, rather than, hey, we are, the club is going down or something, is like, hey, we're expanding. We are more active than ever. So let's use this time and this opportunity as leader. We are all leaders, right? To go next step and like we are showing by example today. Attendance, leadership, spirit, participation. So thank you so much. I think all our guests already disconnected. I think we have just...
Can we, I believe Mr. Raji, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Can we hear what your thoughts were for the meeting?
Thank you. It was very informative. I've learned a lot. I guess it's how to present your your passions, what you believe in. And I'm just a beginner too. I'm passionate about nutrition, and I'm in the beginning stages of sharing my passion through speaking. And it's nice to get encouraged by you guys. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope to see you in our next meeting.
Sure. Thank you. I look forward to it.
A very nice background, by the way. So thank you. See you next week. How you found the club? The club was meetups?
On meetups, yeah. And I just found out Cynthia, she showed me how to do the thing. I did it right away. I had no idea how to do it, so she taught me. Thank you.
You see?
Nice. We need more cool backgrounds.
Yes.
Mr. President. Mr.
Great,
President. Yes. If I may, this is the first time we've done this on Zoom, and I do not have the sheet that we normally use for grammarian, but if I may give the report of the grammarian.
Yes, please, Ray. Please proceed.
And I don't want to get kicked out of Toastmaster, but our district director, he used act ourselves out. I'm not sure if that's correct, act ourselves out. Elena, on the and I may be using a combination of an odd counter and a grammarian, so don't get upset at me. I don't have the form. Cynthia, the do this because, Tally, okay, kind of like at the end of her, what you were saying, you kept saying, okay, okay. And then also, and just, John, and so I, and I think this was Steve, looking forward to, that is my report, Mr. President.
Much appreciated.
And I did not hear the word of the day used. So
You're right. And by the way, I have a quote about it, but you know, I missed that one. But yeah, you're right. Next time we'll pay more attention, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Grammarian. All right. Any question before we go to Arun that probably you want to provide some updates, Arun? Jennifer, please go ahead.
Yeah, because I have to leave shortly. Now, actually, another question. First of all, I want to say kudos to Mary Faye for the technological way she did the timing today. I think this is something we all need to learn, because especially the color background. I sent her a private message. I suppose she didn't see it, but anyway, I really would love for her to show us how to incorporate that so we can use that basically like a standard way for the timing report. I think that is great until we meet again in person.
Awesome. Perfect.
Okay.
Cynthia doing it as well, the magic. Right?
I don't know how to do it.
I'll teach you guys in another Zoom tutorial.
Awesome.
Okay.
I did want to do some comments. Jennifer did ask about the whole paid version. Actually, all of us have access to this as long as the host account is paid. So the same things that I showed to you is what you will see as someone who is in the meeting room. So because this is you know, a club account, and our club account is paid, everyone, even though their individual accounts are free, because my account is also free, we have access to this. So that only becomes an issue if you are hosting and you as a host are free, and then that's another topic altogether. But as a participant in a room that is a paid version, then we have all the access tools available.
Yes, thanks for explaining that, because also after I made that comment, I went into the chat and I saw where the file was on the right hand side. So I thought it was just there at the bottom, but no, you have to click chat to find that. So thanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also the whiteboard thing, and I'm going to share my screen because John had this question of, well, where is the whiteboard? And I actually have a picture of it in my PowerPoint. And when you click on share screen, this is what you're going to go, and literally, let me actually annotate this and draw, and literally right next to the screen option is the whiteboard. And when you click on that, it gives you a literal whiteboard, just a blank screen where you can write as you're talking. So that is actually, it's not really that fancy, but is an option for you to actually use. Let me stop sharing my screen. I also wanted to give Alex a little bit of a suggestion. I was taught for table topics to say the name afterwards. And the reason this is the protocol is that when you say the question first, everybody's on their seats saying, okay, I need to pay attention and hear because I don't know if I'm going to be called.
Right.
Whereas if you call the person first, everybody's going to just say, okay, it's not me, thank God, you know, I'm not going to pay attention. So that's the reason we try to put the question first, and then you know, point who's going to be answering the question. So that was a little thing that, you know, for next time.
Thank you, Cynthia.
No problem. And as I said, we are working on the whole polling. We've already talked about it in our board meeting. So we will probably incorporate voting for our next meeting or sometime towards, in the next couple of weeks. That's it from Mr. Juan Rosero.
Thank you, Cynthia. I want to let Arun, before we go to the roles. Arun, any news announcements that you want to share?
Again, thank you, Mr. President. Again, I just want to congratulate, again, reiterate that the club was awesome. You guys have achieved the President's Distinguished, which talks about each individual as a group. Again, keep it going. It's something, not many clubs can achieve that. So you need to be proud about that. It's about individuals' achievement and also as a collective group. So each one stands for you. That talks about the camaraderie and the collective force that you guys have towards each other, making the club achieve that award. So that also talks about the leadership. So I also congratulate the leadership from the previous, from 1919 to 20, and all the best for the current leadership to keep it going. What else? And we have our club contest, the area contest in October 10th. So if anyone interested for international humor contest or evaluation contest, you should have that club contest before September 30th. So from August 15th to September 30th is a date the club should conduct. So you could let the president know and you guys can conduct the meeting. And then what else? Then we have on August 15th, we have a free TLI training for the officers. So that gives you 4 officers getting trained, gives 1 point towards the club. So take advantage of that. That's again the Zoom meeting. And then I'm looking forward for 2 or 3 judges for the area contest. So that's something, if you want to be interested, please let me know, reach out to me. That's it from me.
Thank you, appreciate it. And by the way, I think Steve could be part of the contest. Steve, I remember the egg one, I like it. All right, let's go really fast. So just to end up here, the roles for next week, I think, first of all, Elena just, step up and said she wants the Toastmaster of the day. Awesome. Table topics. Who wants table topics? Mr. Ray Smith. All right, great. What about the speaker? Speaker 1. Steve? Awesome. Thank you, Steve. All right. Speaker 2. Marife.
Yes.
Oh.
The doctor.
Now, evaluator 1. Who wants that? Cynthia, Alex?
I'll do.
Cynthia, perfect. All right. Evaluator 2. Let's see. Ray? I see your hand right there. So I don't know.
Searching.
No,
Oh, Ray's table topics,
You are
Master.
Ray's table topics.
That was for
So,
Mr. President. That was for
Mr. Juan Rosero.
so I'll
It could also
be
be.
evaluator 2. Okay. Awesome. And then timer. Who wants to be timer?
Alex, are you going to be on next week?
I might not be on. That's why I haven't. I might not be on. That's why I haven't.
Volunteer.
Volunteer.
But I could do word of the day because I know that one's easy in case I can't make it. Word of the day.
Okay, so grammarian is going to be Alex.
Alex, awesome.
And timer,
Barbara.
well, we can always put it on the chat and see who's available for next week.
Okay. This is great. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. And thank you all.
Thank you.
See you next.
See you, everyone.
Bye-bye.